there's no question about that. You might think it's correct, but it's wrong. So that's why I said it's a very important part of everything that you are doing. So you might want to check that out. Okay. No, there's no question about that. You might think it's correct, but it's wrong. So that's why I said. So you might want to check that. Yeah. So check your model and confirm that they are all doing well. Okay. So today, like I said, I didn't send any requirement, and that was on purpose because today's project will be a bit different from everyone that you've been doing so far. Of course, because of the course that we did during the week, and obviously because maybe I would say because it's the last one, not really, but yeah. So all we'll be doing today is data. You'll be working on something you're familiar with, which is one of the database that we work with in our mini project. Specifically, I think mini project 4. Okay. And that's the AdventureWorks database. You remember? Okay. So what are you expected to do? Let me come over to SQL. So this time you have to go to SQL. Of course, that's where you have your database. Nobody should load the data directly from Excel. I know I sent you the Excel file, but if you load it from Excel, like it's not going to count at all. So you have to load from your SQL database to your Power BI. Okay. So you have the data here. I believe this is it from my hand. Yeah. So you, of course, you can't have yours like this. So I mean, exactly, because I created this one, based on the project that we had. We had to join the tables together and all of that. But yeah, you would have calendar table, you would have categories table, you would have customers table, you would have products table for sure. You have returns, you have subcategories, you have territories, and then you have sales 2020, 2021, and 2022. Yeah. So what are you expected to do? Of course, you have to combine all the sales together, as you know. So this is let me say, this is what I would want you guys to do. Best practice, just follow best practice. I'm not going to tell you anything that you need to do. That's what makes this assignment different, because you will be what's it called now? You will have to think through yourself. So of course, it looks like the assignment is easy, but I think this is probably going to be the most difficult, because nobody's directing you. You are the one that have to use your knowledge and experience to do the right thing. So, of course, it will mean that everyone will get a different answer, like different report and everything, but we'll know if it's correct, yeah? Because if you tell me that for instance, your total revenue is 2,000, and it's obvious that it's not 2,000, and it's like 15,000, we know that everything that you've done is wrong, right? So that's how tricky it is. So because this is like a reward project now. So load your data from your SQL database to your Power BI. Of course, I didn't show you how to do that in Power BI, but thanks to your Excel skill, you know how to do that. So figure it out and load it into your Power BI. You can do your transformation here in SQL, which for me, I would recommend, because I think, as I always told you, that it's best that you have your transformation in your source, But if you cannot, you can also do it in Power Query, yeah. But if you do it here, of course, there'll be more mark, because I'm going to check all of this. I know maybe we'll have about maybe at most 50 submissions. I will check it. I will check everything. I can guarantee you that. So this one will be graded. Like, it's not just like you're submitting, to be graded based on the output, based on what you did and everything. So yeah, we have like those sales now. You have to, I expect that you combine them here, not do them over in Power BI for best practices sake. You get what I mean? So, but if you do them there too, you still get your result. But I expect that you do those things here. Like I think when we're calculating, I mean, just go, we can go a bit back to some of the stuff that I gave you in mini project 4, yeah, to understand some way of interacting with the data. But yeah, I think when we were creating it, we had to add the total price, yeah, I think, yeah, the total price of each other by multiplying it by the unit price on all of those things. So it will be nice if you can do those things here. If not, if you model your data together, I think you should be able to fetch them and multiply them together. But it's a bit tricky. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to so that you guys understand what I'm saying. So for instance, if I check this sales 2020 now, you will see that we only have the order quantity, yeah? Yeah, we have the order quantity. And then from product, we have the unit price. I purposely did it the last time, what we had when we were multiplying them. So we actually used the unit price from the order table. Do you remember in our Northwind? So it was very easy to just multiply them, this multiplied by this. But in this case, the unit price you have is in your products table. In fact, here we have both cost price and selling price. So there's possibility for profit. I'm just giving you that tip anyways ahead. So you know what to do. So here we have this price, the two prices we have them in our products table. And then our order quantity that we are going to use to multiply is in another table. So how do you do it? You have to find out yourself. I'm not going to tell you that. So how do you multiply a value from this table and a value from the other table? So that's in Power BI now. From here, you know how to do it because I think you did it in your mini project and I also showed it also. But if you are doing it in Power BI, that's the modeling. How do you do them together? There's a DAX function for that. So, but if you don't want to go through that, so maybe you might want to do it here. So it's up to you. But yeah, that's just it. I think we've done walkthrough on this before. We've worked on this data before, so there's no point really walking you through. This calendar table is something you might also find new. So let me show you this calendar table. It's a dedicated table for calendars. So just as you can see, the month, the year, the month, and okay, I think this is the day, this is the month. So each one here is represent what's it called, a date. So you might want to combine them here and you'll be using this as your date. So that's the idea. So you will model this with anywhere you have date, you will model this table with it. Okay, so you will not be using the date. Remember we're using the order date from the orders table. So instead of doing that, you can be using the date from here. And this date, you can create a lot of things out of it. So for instance, I can join these three together. I have my proper date, and then I do start of the month, end of everything, all those things that you want to do about date, you can do them from here. So let me see, I have a video on my channel that talks about date table. It's a very important phenomenon in Power BI. But if you cannot use the calendar, no problem. I will still probably my own walkthrough or in my own solution. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to do the solution. Even if I do, I will not probably do everything. Probably just show you how you can use something like this, or that which I just explained about linking up your product price and your quantity in another table. So I might just touch on things like that if I will make a video, if I will. So, but if you are not able to understand the use of this calendar table, it's fine. So you can just be using all the dates that you have in your data. Like in my sales now, I think there is a date column there that talks about the date that it was ordered. Yeah, so order date and stock date. So, but if you can, good. So yeah, that's that. Load it to your Power BI and then begin. Then you start analyzing. So my advice for you, best practice for you, you have to get a sheet of paper or a document, look at this data, explore, begin to ask questions. That's where you start from. Don't just bump on this data. So begin to ask questions. Okay, similar to the questions we've always been asked. Yeah. So now it's time for you to set your questions yourself. So you can see that it's easier, right? So because you'll be setting your question yourself. So you ask, okay, I'm interested to see how many of our customers have made purchase. So I want to write that down. Then how many, you just write some, right? You write based on what you've seen. You may not be able to find everything just at the first glance. As you go on, you begin to see more interesting stuff. But yeah, I think when you do that one first, it will give you a direction, and then you begin to progress and see more stuff as you analyze the data. And then you create your measures. As you know, if you need to create calculated columns, which I don't expect you to do in Power BI, but I expect you to do them here or probably in Power Query. I'm not using that, but if that's the way to go for now, that's also still fine. And then you come up with your visualization. So this project is different. So I know that you cannot take the weekend to do this, but the issue is your portfolio project. I don't know if I should add this as your portfolio project, or we should still take it as mini, because I was expecting that you start your portfolio project on Wednesday. So I'm thinking if you guys can do this today, you have today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think that's enough, in my opinion. I think that's enough. So we might meet again on Thursday. For the first time, we're meeting on Thursday for the walkthrough for the portfolio project. That's just what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, you agree with me? So Thursday will be walkthrough for portfolio project, and of course, we'll meet again maybe after 1 week. So your portfolio project is no, I don't know. I want. Okay, let me take your suggestions. What do you think about? Should we make this still mini project or the first portfolio project? But I think let's be consistent to the end. Let's have mini project for all our weeks. Yeah. So what do you think? Let me take suggestions from you. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Idris. Yeah, okay. So it's just a bit of clarification, right? For this one, we don't have like a specific requirement to work with. So it's just like we have to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
So just to confirm, if let's say I'm working as a data analyst and I have data, they can't throw me into the wilderness like this and tell me to figure it out. It will come with the requirements, right?
Are you saying that I have thrown you into the wilderness now?
No, I just answer my question first.
Okay, so I'm listening. Nobody threw you in the wilderness. So in a reward scenario, they would actually give you requirements for sure. So, but because it's not the first time you are working with this data, so I think you can come up with requirements yourself. So that was the point. So
all right,
that's why. But normally they will not just throw you in like this, and they will still give you some things to, like, this is what they want resolved. But then, as I've always said, when you now begin to work on data, you begin to see more stuff than they probably didn't even see from the origin. So this is similar to NotWin now, right? Is it not sales? Everything is sales, orders, customers, calendar. So it's not something totally new. Do you agree with me? So I don't think you need any special requirement again. We'll be interested in revenue, total revenue. We'll be interested in total orders. We want to see how many products have been sold. We're interested in seeing now profit. So it's not something from a totally different place. So that's why I feel like you already know what you should do still. I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm still okay, Chama, yeah.
Good morning. For this calendar table, you said that we should join all the columns together. That we should create a new column for a proper date format. Now, if we do that, and you're asking us to use the calendar table in Power BI, which one will now be our primary key?
Good question. Good question.
Which one will that be our primary key? Will it be the complete dates or what? Maybe it should be the complete dates, right?
I feel like saying you people should just even continue. You people should do this because I love that question.
Then,
So the key
then
will, okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
just continue. I'll
Oh,
ask another question.
so the key will become the key is definitely going to be the date. So I know right now we have duplicate of 2020, right? We also have duplicates of 1, at least if you scroll down now, you go to 2, you can see repetition. We also have duplicate of this one, date, which is 1. If you go to 30, it starts all over again. But by the time you join them together, they represent just 1 day. Because you cannot have more than 1 day repeat itself. So you have 2020, January 1st, 2020, January 2nd, and so on. You cannot have 2020 January. So by the time you join them together, you have 1 date. So that is the key. So that's what you now join with, for instance, the orders table. So let's say, for instance, in our orders table, we have 5 or 7 orders on the first day of January 2020. It will be modeling with this one, which will just be 1 value here, right? By the time you join them together, you combine them together. So what kind of relationship is that? 1 to many. So in real sense, your calendar table is always a dimension table. Do you understand? But if you don't get it, it's fine. But because you asked that question, I believe you should understand what I'm saying now for you to have asked that question.
Yeah. Okay.
There are advantages to it. So I'm going to share that video now that I told you about. I talked about that video. I talked about it. It's a date table in general. I'm going to share it on our chat now. Also put it on our, if you have some time to watch it, you can watch it. So there's advantage for it. It helps, it's part of optimization process, because I don't want to do a lot of explanation or teaching. I don't want to overwhelm you. But if you don't understand, if you don't know how to use it, no worries. I will probably make a video where I will show you what it means in addition to this one, which I sent. So to understand what date table does, they help in optimization as well. Because by default, Power BI, okay, let me stop there. I hope you get, if you don't get it, just use the dates in your orders table and all other dates that you have.
Okay, thank you. Second question or request, I will say is a request. Please tell us how to load a data set from SQL to Power BI, so that we'll not be cracking our brains now.
No, it's still the same as in Excel now. I showed you when we were having our class, didn't I? So just check. I don't need to even tell you that. If you don't know it, just go to Google and say load data from SQL to Power BI. It will show you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Samuel, yeah? I wonder why you changed your name to S today. You don't want us to know that?
It's my Zoom actually. I don't know why it's requesting me to like just pick a name before
I thought it's your friend, but let's move on.
Okay, sir. So you're actually asking our opinion about should we submit on Tuesday or on Wednesday. So for me, because I have a benefit friend, there are other things that is on the table, sir. So I will go for Wednesday, please, so that we can have like more time, because my week is usually like very busy because of work and all that. So it's possible, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's do it like this to make it more interesting and get everyone in sync. Let's meet on Friday for our portfolio project. I think that's a good time because I want you guys to rest. Actually, I mean, back to back. So you guys should like really rest. So let's do like this. Thursday is the deadline to submit this mini project. Okay, I mean, ideally, I expect you to finish by Wednesday. Ideally, I expect you to finish by Wednesday, but we'll do Thursday so that if you finish by Wednesday, you can also rest and calm down and relax and all of that. So on Friday we meet, and then we'll do the walkthrough for the portfolio projects. It's going to be 2 projects. So the requirement this time, what you need to do, and all those information that you need, we'll do it on Friday. But I expect that officially the start date will be Monday. That's the following week. Okay, but I would have given you everything you need from Friday so that weekend, if you want to play, you can play. Weekend, if you want to start, you can start. Anyhow you want to do it. But for Monday, that following week, till the next 2 Mondays, that will be the deadline. So we have exactly 2 weeks for the project. Right? So let's do it that way so that everybody can come back and we can all be looking good and ready to eat the analytics. I don't know if YouTube will allow me to say that, so let me just shut up. But yeah, that's it. So if there's no other question, I think we can go and have our project done. I wish you guys great success. It's really going to be nice if you can do this. Honestly, you would really love it if you can just. And then, I forgot. Please work in groups. Work in groups. Yeah. So the last time you guys worked in groups, so you can use that same group to work again if you want. So yeah, storytelling. I know I didn't show you that part yet because I want you to like really get this. So what I would do again, okay, let me write it down. I promise to do this. So I'm going to make a video. I will make this video before. I'll try to. I don't know if I will have the time today, but still what we've completed in our data that we worked with, our not-twin. So I'll make a short video. It should not be too long. How you can tell stories in your report. So it's a bit tricky though, because sometimes when you create dashboards, you necessarily don't need to, that's the difference between dashboards and reports. So sometimes dashboards are usually like very dynamic, like what you have, you very dynamic, right? You are using slicers and all of these things. But storytelling is more tilted towards reporting. So reporting is more rigid style kind of reporting. So please, I recommend check my LinkedIn. I'm not trying to advertise it, but if you can check it and check some of my projects, I do more of storytelling, right? So you see how I'm describing what is going on in the data. So it's not just like you are just pulling up those charts and then leaving it. You understand, okay, this is what is happening. So this particular, you will see how I do those things. But I will also make a very short video based on the not-twin that we have done so far to see how you can have your story. Because yeah, story is important. It helps your whoever is reading the report or seeing things beyond what they are just seeing graphically. Yeah. So these things go hand in hand, but get the concept first, which is building up the report, and then storytelling comes in afterwards. Okay. So I will make that video, I promise to, and I will send it on the chat, on our Discord. Okay, so let's get started. 30 minutes gone already. So if you have any question, as usual, let's ask on Discord, but let it be questions that you know that I will be able to answer, not questions that we've done already in the class. I will not answer you, you know that. And let's work in groups together, and let's build up something really nice. I wish you guys success, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mr. Sam, why is your bye-bye like